What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel Reef RX. Want to give you the update on the fish room and how everything's coming along. It's been about 2 months since I've had this Waterbox tank set up, and I got a bunch of other tanks set up here to show you. So we'll jump right into it. So this is the Waterbox Peninsula 7225. I've had this up and running for probably two and a half months. I did start to add some fish in here. As you can see, my blue hippo tang is in the tank, and I also have my clownfish over here that is in the tank as well. Both of these fish went through a rigorous quarantine process because these fish were transferred over from my reef pond, and I know this blue tang has had ick, which a lot of blue tangs are prominent to ick. So I used Copper Safe, and I did a 2-week treatment of every 3 days, sterilizing the tank completely. So any ick that would have fallen off would no longer be on the fish, and hopefully broke that cycle of ick. The fish does look super healthy, eats a lot, swimming around, seems very happy in this new tank. I am still in the ugly phase of this tank with the diatoms here. You can see there's some brownish on the rocks and on the sand bed. So I'm kind of just letting this work its process. I'm not really rushing anything. Haven't moved any of the other fish in here. Haven't even put the protein skimmer in. As you can see through the other end of the wall there, which will soon be a family room in my basement here. So that was the reason of doing the Peninsula tank, so I could view this beautiful tank from both sides. So if you haven't tuned into the last video, I kind of gave an overview of what I'm running on equipment, but have the Radeon G6 XR30s on this tank. First time using those, really like them. I'll give you a quick peek underneath here in the sump. So I do have the pump shut off right now, the return pump, because one thing about this tank that I'm not too fond of is it's quite loud here in the overflow. It makes a lot of noise. So just to give you a better viewing experience of my video, or I should say listening experience, I shut the pump off, and now it's in feed mode. But I'm going to have my refugium going in this chamber here. I'll get that going in a bit here, and I'll have my skimmer over here on the chamber on the left. The skimmer is still being used in my reef pond because I still do have fish in there and a few corals. Got the Red Sea Reef Roller or Reef Mat 1200. Really doing a nice job pulling all those organics out of the tank, as you can see. Always been a fan of these reef mats here, so highly recommend them. I will drop a link in the bottom for Bulk Reef Supply. You have an affiliate link, so if you want to help support the channel, and if you're buying any Bulk Reef Supply equipment, you can click on that affiliate link, and I'll get a small kickback there, and I'll continue to take any money I earn from this channel and dump it back into this reef room to share with you guys. On the right, I got my controller cabinet, and everything works good here. I'll give you a tour of what I got going on here. So just real quick, if you haven't seen this before, I have an adjustable work table, which is really good. Doing a variety of projects here in my reef room. And then I have my cabinets with a bunch of stuff. So I got, my gloves, I got my paper towels up here, and a bunch of testing equipment, just various things. On the right here, all my treatments, supplies, and food. And then I got my sink over here, which is great for cleaning equipment, and I have RODI water on tap. So that's super helpful. To the right here, I got a couple things going on here. So first, I have my Frag tank. So I took corals that were in my reef pond, and I'm putting them through a quarantine process because I don't want to bring any pests over. The corals were in pretty rough shape when I moved them in here. There's a lot of hair algae, so I need to take care of that. I did just throw a couple of snails in there. I did do a coral RX dip with all the corals, and I also dipped them in iodine. So they're looking better than they were, but you can see this Euphilia here. Be lucky if that one survives, while other ones are doing real great. So I do have Aiptasia in this tank, so I need to take care of that. And I have Berghia nudibranch to the right of this that I am breeding, so I'll talk about that in just a moment. But I will throw some Berghias in here to get rid of all that Aiptasia, because I really want to make sure with my new Peninsula tank, there are 0 pests in this tank. That is one thing I'm going to be doing better at, is quarantining fish and, you know, quarantine corals. Down here I have my Aiptasia grow out tank. I do have a couple of fish in here. I have these clownfish that are temporarily in this tank. They will soon be going in this water box tank over there once I get that set up. And then last night I just put my Mandarin goby in here, which I'll be transferring over in just a couple of days. I just need to get some pod population set up. He does eat frozen food, which is my homemade frozen food. So if you haven't checked out that video, I have a video on how I make my own food. As far as the Aiptasia is going, most of you don't want Aiptasia. Well, I do. It's kind of success to breeding the Berghia. So I got a good Aiptasia population in here. And then my reef pond is full of Aiptasia. So I've been kind of transferring some of this Aiptasia over. So everything is good in here. Then I just set up a little brine culture here last night to hatch some baby brine, nothing yet. And then this is my Berghia tank. So in the back here, I'll see if I can zoom in to show you. Those are 2 Berghias right there. There's a closer look. So those are the Berghias there. They actually look like they're mating. So this is where they breed. I do have several sets of eggs which are actually under that rock. Can't really show you because I'd have to flip over the rock. But this is just a little, I think it's like a 2.5 gallon tank. I actually won this for free off of the bulk reef supply giveaway during, I think it was their Black Friday event. So this was a perfect use for it. It has a little light here. So this light is great if you wanted to do a little frag tank or something in there. I do turn the light on periodically. I do have a coral in there that's really not doing well, but it has Aiptasia, so I threw it in here. All right, so over here is my mixing station. You've probably seen this before, but I got, this is my RODI on the right, salt on the left, and then I have a hose right here, so I can fill up tanks with RODI water if I'm topping off ATO containers, or if I'm doing a water change, I can switch over to salt water on that as well from this tank here and fill that up. So really love this mixing station. Probably one of the best investments I've ever made. If you have the room to do something like this and you have the money and the time, it wasn't even that much, it was around $1,000. I would highly recommend doing this. And then I have over here this Waterbox 60.2, which I need to set up. Got my other cabinet over here with lots of equipment and supplies, so fragging supplies, bunch of all for reef, reef mat, refills, got the 500, 1200s, RODI supplies, all sorts of stuff. I did want to take a moment and give a shout out to my good friends Teddy and Barrett, 2 young men that are interested in getting into this hobby. They're trying to convince their dad to get a little saltwater tanks. So shout out to Teddy and Barrett. Hopefully your dad buys you guys a tank, but what I would ask all my viewers to do, if you could leave a comment for Teddy and Barrett of what was one thing you wish you knew when you got into this hobby, or maybe some words of wisdom. You know, it doesn't really have to be expensive to get into the hobby. You can use like what I have over here. Just, you know, this is a 20-gallon tank. You can get a 40-gallon breeder. But it doesn't need to be really expensive. So if you have any words of wisdom or advice that you'd like to share, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate that. They do watch my videos, as does their dad. So great kids, shout out to them. And then if you haven't seen my RODI set up, this is what that looks like. So quite advanced. I am on a well system, so I do go through a lot of anion resin. So I have 2 cartridges of that there. But that helps save me some money when it comes to DI. This is the reef pond. It's in pretty rough shape. I'm sure a lot of you will have a lot to say, but I've been neglecting this. I just need to get these 2 fish out. I got a Banggai Cardinal, and then I got a Royal Gamma in there. I cannot get them out for the life of me. I do have this fish trap over here, which I've been putting the food in, but they seem to have 0 interest. So lots of Aiptasia, lots of bubble algae. So eventually this whole thing will be taken offline and out of my basement here. So, well, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, please go ahead and put those in the comments. Always looking forward to chatting with you guys, and until we see you next time, take care.